Faculty mentorship at Richard Bland College, he has transformed a lifelong interest in nature into a clear career path. Braxton plans to continue his studies at William and Mary in the fall, and as this year's student speaker, Braxton represents the spirit of intellectual curiosity, determination, and growth that defines this exceptional graduating class. Mr. Coleman.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to Richard Bland College's Board of Visitors, President Saito, the distinguished faculty and staff, the family and friends who have supported us every step of the way, and most importantly, to the graduating class of 2026. My name is Braxton Coleman, and I am honored to be your student commencement speaker. As a young child, my mom used to always worry for me because I was always outside picking things up. Whether it was plants, rocks, sticks, or insects, she would always get on me about not knowing whether those things are poisonous or not. But to me, it was never just a plant or an insect, but I was already trying to understand how everything was connected. And that exact curiosity followed me into college, along with a lot of uncertainty. Like many of you, I had a certain image of how college life would be. Large classrooms, fast-paced schedules, crowded walkways, and a constant pressure to keep up. When visiting orientation at a large university, I remember feeling overwhelmed and started to reconsider the college life. As an environmental science major, I have always been drawn to quiet spaces, places where you can listen, observe, and reflect. When visiting Richard Bland, I noticed something almost immediately. It wasn't just the feeling of calmness around the campus, but it was the feeling of being seen. From the smiling faces during orientation to the welcoming corners of the library, I could sense that this was a place where meaningful connections could develop. And I was right. At Richard Bland, connections come first. And from those exact connections, opportunities follow. Because class sizes are small and relationships are real, students don't just learn concepts, but we experience them. And with the help of Dr. Eric Miller and his environmental science courses, I found myself standing in a cold mountain stream in West Virginia, collecting water samples and observing aquatic life, not as pages on a textbook, but as living, breathing systems. Over spring break, I explored the natural trails of Savannah, Georgia, observing conservation efforts and realizing that environmental science is not just a field of study, but it's a responsibility. And on a 3-day hike on a trail in the Shenandoah, something clicked. Surrounded by nature and disconnected from distractions, I reaffirmed my commitment to this path, not because it was simple, but because it was deeply meaningful. Those experiences did not just teach me about the environment, but they taught me about myself. And that is the beauty of Richard Bland. It provided me with the space to grow personally, mentally, and academically. At Richard Bland, I learned how to manage demanding coursework. I learned how to communicate more effectively. And I learned how to think more critically about the world around me. And I could thank courses such as my communication course and my critical thinking course for shaping how I express myself and how I listen to others. Just as importantly, I learned the value of balance. While attending school full-time, working part-time, serving the music at my church, and helping care for my older brother, who was nonverbally autistic, I learned that discipline means very little without purpose. And to stay grounded, I found peace through gardening, prayer, and quiet reflections, which reminded me to slow down and be present. Through it all, I learned that success is not just defined by productivity, but it's also defined by sustainability. So as we stand here today, on the edge of what comes next, I am grateful for the connections made and the confidence I have gained. Richard Bland did not just prepare us for the next institution, but it prepared us for the next version of ourselves. Wherever we go from here, whether to another university, a career, or something still unfolding, I hope we carry forward what this place has taught us. To stay curious, value connection, and to always take time to reflect. Congratulations, class of 2026. May you continue to grow, just like a tree, deeply rooted, but always reaching upward. Because the sky is the limit, and you can do anything you set your mind to. Thank you.